Have you ever felt something so special for someone that it changed your whole world? Imagine finding love where you least expect it, inside a classroom. This is the story of Elizabeth, a young girl, and her teacher, Mr. John, whose shared love for literature led to something extraordinary. But was it meant to last? Welcome to English Tone. This is the place where we bring you fascinating stories and lessons to help you learn English in fun and exciting ways. Today's story, A Romance with My Teacher, is a mix of emotions, lessons, and surprises that will leave you thinking about love and life. Let's dive into this unforgettable tale. My name is Elizabeth, and I am a 20-year-old student living in a small but charming town called Rosewood. It's a peaceful place surrounded by rolling hills and blooming gardens. My family is supportive and loving, especially my mother, who always encouraged me to pursue my dreams. I have a deep love for literature, which led me to enroll in an English literature class at the prestigious Rosewood Academy. Our professor, Mr. John Carter, was a wonderful teacher. He was very good at teaching English literature, and all the students loved him. He was tall and had a confident way of walking. He always had a kind smile that made everyone in the class feel welcome. When Mr. Carter spoke about poems and stories, it felt like he was bringing them to life. He had a deep and clear voice that made even the hardest poems sound exciting. He made us feel like we were friends with famous writers like Shakespeare and Keats. At first, I thought of him as just my teacher. I admired the way he explained everything and how he made learning fun. But as time passed, I started feeling something new. It was not just admiration anymore. I found myself looking forward to his classes, not just to learn, but also to see him. My feelings were growing, and there was something I didn't fully understand yet. One day, after all the other students had left the classroom, I decided to stay behind. I had a question about a poem we had read in class. It was a beautiful poem, but I couldn't quite understand its deeper meaning. I nervously approached Mr. John Carter, hoping he wouldn't think my question was silly. He welcomed me with a kind smile and said, "Go ahead, Elizabeth. What's on your mind?" His voice was calm and encouraging, which made me feel at ease. I explained my confusion, and instead of just giving me an answer, he asked me to share what I thought the poem might mean. We started talking about the poem, but soon our conversation moved to bigger topics, life, dreams, and how words can make us feel. I didn't even notice how much time had passed. When I glanced at the clock, an hour had gone by. It felt like the most meaningful conversation I had ever had. From that day, something changed. In class, I began to notice little things about Mr. Carter. When he spoke to me, his eyes seemed to linger just a moment longer. When he praised my work, his words felt special, as if they were meant just for me. I started looking forward to his classes even more. It wasn't just about learning literature anymore. It was about those small, subtle moments we shared, a knowing glance from across the room, a quiet smile that made me feel understood. Those little things began to mean so much to me. This was the beginning of a connection I hadn't expected, but it made my days brighter and my love for literature even deeper. A few months after starting the class, Mr. John gave us an assignment. We had to write a personal essay about something that deeply moved us. I decided to write about my feelings, though not openly. I carefully hid my emotions in the words, making it seem like I was just writing about my love for literature. When I submitted the essay, I felt nervous. My hands trembled as I placed the paper on his desk. What if he could sense what I truly felt? Would he understand the hidden emotions? Or worse, would he reject them? To my surprise, the next day, Mr. John asked me to stay after class. My heart raced. I could barely breathe as I stood before him, feeling like my secret was written all over my face. He held my essay in his hands, looking at me with soft eyes. "Elizabeth," he said, his voice calm yet serious, "your essay is beautifully written, but there's something deeper in your words, something unsaid." His words struck me, and I felt my face turn red. I wanted to run away, but couldn't move. His kind and understanding gaze made me feel both nervous and safe at the same time. I couldn't keep it inside anymore. My feelings, which I had tried to hide, were bursting to come out. My voice shook as I spoke. "Mr. John, I have feelings for you." I was terrified. What if he got angry or laughed at me? But he didn't. He looked at me for a long moment, his expression kind and gentle. "Elizabeth," he said softly, "this is unexpected. I value your honesty, and I respect your courage to share this with me." That moment was filled with both fear and relief. I had finally spoken the truth, and though I didn't know what would happen next, I felt lighter. One day, something surprising happened. Mr. John Carter, my teacher, confessed that he also felt something special for me. He looked serious but kind when he said, "Elizabeth, this is not easy for me to say, but there's something about you that I can't ignore." His words made my heart skip a beat. I couldn't believe it. My feelings were mutual. From that day on, our connection grew stronger. We started exchanging notes and little messages. It felt exciting and secretive, like we were sharing a world only we understood. Sometimes, after school, we would meet quietly at a small coffee shop far from the academy. Other times, we walked together on peaceful paths at the edge of town, talking about everything, from books and dreams to life itself. But things were not as simple as they seemed. Mr. Carter was my teacher, and we both knew that what we were doing could cause trouble. It felt like we were walking on thin ice, unsure of what the future would hold. The secret we shared brought us closer, but also made our lives much more complicated. One evening, we sat together in a quiet park, surrounded by the soft glow of the setting sun. It felt like the world had paused just for us. But then Mr. John looked at me with a serious expression and said, "Elizabeth, you are an amazing person, and I care for you so much. But this isn't right. You have so many dreams to follow, and I can't let my feelings stop you from reaching them." His words felt like a sharp pain in my heart because I didn't want to let go of what we had. Deep down, though, I understood he was right. He wanted the best for me, even if it meant we had to part ways. It was one of the hardest moments of my life, but I knew it was a decision made with care and respect. Lessons from love. Though our romance ended, it left a lasting impression on me. It taught me about love, boundaries, and the importance of timing in relationships. While we went our separate ways, I carried the memory of our connection as a bittersweet chapter in my life. Thank you for joining me on this emotional journey. Love can be beautiful, but it often comes with complexities we cannot control. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to English Tone for more captivating tales. Stay tuned for our next video, where we explore another unforgettable story